All right, for a couple of minutes, we're going to talk about safety posts. Now, then, safety posts, and when I talk about safety posts, this is really what I'm talking about. These are a sample of the kind of safety posts that we tend to use. Those are made by a group calls them Beam Guard, and we use them on wide flange beams to make sure that we have horizontal lifelines that can be used for fall protection up on the top of the iron. Usually they go around the top of a building so that you can tie off to them on your way as you're continuing your erecting. The posts have to be correctly attached, and they have to all the parts have to be on them and installed properly, and then also the cables for the horizontal lifelines have to be properly installed as well. So then when you put them on, at the bottom you will see that there are some bolts. If those bolts are pushed up to the bottom side of the top flange, then that will hold the post at the preset angle, which is correct. And then they have some other, and I'll show you this. You see those rods and hooks. Once you've gotten the beam post up on the flange, then you take the rods and the hooks and you put them together. On the back side there are some big thumb screws or butterfly nuts, and you take those and crank them up until the hooks, which are underneath, are in tight the way they should be. You want to examine them, and we'll talk about the inspection of them in a little bit. Then also between the eyelet at the top on one post and the eyelet and the top on the other post that's down, perhaps could be 15-20 feet. There's a cable that runs 3/8 cable, and the cable goes through the eyelet that's the top of the post. Then you attach 3 cable clamps to that. Now those 3 cable clamps, you want to make sure that the saddle is on the long side and that they're about a fist apart, and there needs to be 3 of them. You put them on there. And then make sure that the saddle is on the long part, not the short part of the end of the cable. So the phrase is, you never saddle a dead horse. Then you run the horizontal lifeline from one post to another. Make sure that it's properly adjusted, and we'll talk about that perhaps sometime later on, to make sure that there's a certain amount of slack in it, so that if someone goes off the iron, that horizontal lifeline will give them a little bit of shock absorption when they go off the iron. So posts have to be installed correctly, properly, and the cables installed properly in order for them to do any good. We'll just stop right there for the moment, and we'll go on here in a couple of minutes to talk about something else.